Sonya and Sasha, for real.
This is the Sonya and Sasha for Real show. It's our final show. It's our favorite day. We're so sad that this is actually the end of what's been an amazing few months, isn't it, Sash?
It's been incredible. And you know what the best part is? Firstly, I've got to work with you, but it's been really easy. There's like all the challenges that we've had to face and doing stuff through Zoom and learning different technology. It's been fun and easy, and I've loved every moment of it. And I'm so glad that I got to do it with you.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's our favorite thing in the world to do. I think it saved us, this show.
Oh, 100%.
Through the pandemic, it was something for us to look forward to and something for us to get involved in. And how great was Michael Williams? That interview that we did with him was just what a fascinating insight into American politics. And, you know, from a guy who's just super cool and has total Obama vibes. Like, we can't wait for you to meet him, DJ, Big Brooklyn from 4040 in New York City. Brooklyn's in the house. Is that what we say?
We need to get back there and, like, you know, put your vibes on and we get back to dancing and stuff. But it's going to be a long time before we do that. But luckily we get to have a little piece of you right here and you get to come on our show. You've been one of our favourite guests. Like, everyone's loved you. Our first guest and our final guest. Like, you're almost like a little round circle, like wrapped us up in a bow package.
That's it.
Once you're in the Sonya and Sasha for Real family, you can't get out. That's the rules. You realise that?
It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Nobody ever goes in, nobody ever goes out.
Oh, I have the tattoo already.
Perfect. So we've been thinking about you a lot because we've seen that it's crazy over there right now, and then now it's snowing on top of all of that, and we just think, you know, we're so used to seeing you in the booth doing your thing at the club, and what's going on with hospitality and clubs, and, you know, what's going on with that part of your life right now?
Well, it is pretty much on hold.
Yeah.
That's basically how that's the only way I could describe it. It's a holding pattern right now. I am not as comfortable, you know, still going to parties, etc. I see people. I have friends who, you know, they're still doing it, but you know, this thing has touched my life personally, so I'm not inclined to go to these parties, etc., etc. The club has been open for dinner and, you know, watching games, because ultimately, you know, it is a sports bar, a upscale sports bar. That's how I've always described it. So, you know, sports is still happening, so people do, you know, show up to watch it. You know, the food is great, so they do that. But as far as the party aspect, that's still on hold, and for now that even the eating and everything has been scaled back a little bit, because we have, you know, we're under a second lockdown, third lockdown. I've lost count at this point. So the indoor dining is not going to be a thing for a while, because we had, you know, our numbers spiked again. So like I said, right now everything's in a hole. It's in a hole, but I'm not looking at it as a negative. I'm looking at it as, okay, well, you know, now arrange your music and, you know, get more practice time. You know what I'm saying? Do more research, learn more about the equipment that I use, stuff like that. So I'm, you know, spend more time with you know, the family that I don't normally, because, you know, I'm out of the house, you know, every weekend. So there's that.
Well, there's that attitude. That's a really nice way of looking at it. Good perspective. But you're always like that, Brooklyn. You've got such a great view of the world. You're realistic, but you've got a great positive view of the world. So you have agreed. Now, this could be scary. So see how we go on this section here, right?
Yeah, let's see how this goes.
DJ Big Brooklyn from New York City has agreed to interview Sonya and Sasha on the Sonya and Sasha for Real show, BRIMBANK Live on Live FM.
We don't have much time, so a fast game's a good game. So we need to get these answers out very, very quickly.
Did you say fast game's a good game?
Fast game's a good game.
Let's go. All right. What do you think with it, Brooklyn?
Well, so you guys have touched on it. So I would ask during this time, like, do you feel there's been a highlight, a positive highlight, and or negative highlight of these last 9 months or so?
Positive highlight would have to be getting this show.
Personally and together.
Oh, well, personally, look, honestly, doing this radio show, and I actually am quite proud of myself that, our businesses fell apart and we kind of reinvented ourselves and scaled on this whole new online world. And so I'm a little bit proud because I hate technology in that sense. I hate having to learn stuff. So I'm a little bit proud of that. I'd say that's a little bit personal, and it's also a little bit professional as well. And then we got to do this show, which just been so easy and good. What about you, Sonia?
Oh, that's 100% was like I said before, this saved our lives. And I'm not joking that if we were to do the negative side of 2020, we'd need another show, and no one would listen because who cares,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I think I think the fact that we've still been able to make each other laugh through this whole thing, like we've just stuck together. And, Sash, you and I, we've survived a lot together, and now we can put global pandemic on the resume, on the PowerPoint, as another thing that we've been able to thrive through. And we nearly lost it. It's the closest we've ever come to a breakdown, I reckon.
Well, because Sonia and I never get down on something at the same time.
Yes.
And so normally if something's happened in our business and one gets affected and the other one goes, no, we'll be able to survive, we kind of pull each other up. But there were some times there where we went walking where both of us would take turn-ons. Who was crying? Like, do you want to cry first or should I cry first? Because I'm not coping very well. That was probably the only time that ever, like, we'd both get out to walking and it'd be like, how are you? How are you?
I know you two to be very, very free spirited. So I imagine, the idea of not being able to go somewhere, is probably as emotionally and mentally draining as it is, the physical idea that you can't actually go there.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask you about losing the business and rebuilding. You kind of touched on that. Since we don't have a lot of time, do you feel like you've learned anything specific from Sonya and Sasha for Real radio show?
I've learned that we already knew that we had something going on, but I think that this has nailed it, that we really have something going on because, we've been able to work with all these people and they've pushed us to be better. And I've loved that. They've pushed us to do further and get better guests and do all of those things and to be really vulnerable and not be scared to say, this is how I'm actually feeling. So I guess that and Sonia and I, we did this little thing where Sonia came up with a diagnosis of our mental illness that we experienced during a pandemic. And what's that? What have we got, Sonia? What's that thing that we've got?
It's called imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. And that's where you can have this incredible resume of all this stuff that you've done, but in your mind you think you have actually not achieved anything. And you're not playing around. You're not mucking around. Like you literally go, that can't really matter. Like there was a time when I actually thought to myself, I might have to get a job. And I literally remember sitting there thinking, who's going to employ me? Like, what skills do I have? I got nothing. I can talk. I'm jobless and I'm never going to be able to get, who's going to give me a job?
Yeah.
And so maybe, Sonia, maybe
we might be onto something.
That's all I can say. Maybe I might not be that unemployable. I don't know. But in my mind, I still think to myself, who would give me a job anyway?
Do you know what I want to just say? I'm so grateful for Ralph from Making Media from Live FM for giving us the opportunity, for saying, he's a couple of 23-and-a-half-year-olds from the burbs and we're going to give the two chicks a go. And, it was basically, we hadn't actually met physically until last week. So we've done 11 weeks of shows or 12 weeks of shows all over Zoom. And, he literally saw through the computer screen something in us and said, all right, we'll give these two chicks a go. And now we're talking about taking over the world together. So it's just, that's been the absolute highlight. I've got to say, we have to give a shout out to the families for everybody who's been around us for holding us down at some point or other. And our teachers who've just been doing an incredible job with all of our children. So I think, we've got to say thank you.
Thank you.
That sounds,
Gratitude has been
that
massive.
sounds awesome. So I feel like you're saying as a whole, the whole COVID 2020 thing has been a bittersweet. You lost a little, you gained a lot.
Yes, 100%.
From it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's like the whole Phoenix out of the ashes. There's a lot of
we're
a lot
coming
of
back,
cliches,
baby.
and you know what I'm saying.
2021. No one's brave enough to say it. I'm saying it. 2021 is going to be a massive year. You watch.
It is. And we're
So
wait a minute.
You might
exciting.
You might be jumping the gun, because I was actually going to ask what does Sonya and Sasha know for real? Like, what do you know?
For real?
So apparently, 2021 is going to be awesome.
Oh, I know that for real, because we'll make it like that. We've got plans. We've got plans in motion, baby. We're thinking about it right now. We're cooking it up. What I know for real is that I have the most incredible friend in the world, and we've been through some stuff, and you can't take us down. We're strong. We have something exceptional. I think our friendship, our relationship, we've worked together for 20 years, even though we're 23 and a half. I don't know how that happened, but we've been working together for a long time. And, we've been through a great deal together, and we keep getting stronger and stronger, and a deeper and deeper connection. And so that's what I know for real. I'm so happy and grateful to have you in my life, Sash, and all the beautiful people that we've gathered around us, and all of the guests and the incredible team that we have putting this thing together, including you, brother Brooklyn. You've been there from the beginning with us as well. So yeah, that's what I know for real.
Well,
I've been a fan since the first time I heard you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for listening to us.
No, absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Do you know, Sonya, you stole my for real, because I did owe that 100%, and I'm so grateful for Ralph. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for everything that you've listened to me, and I've gone on and on and on, a lot. Right? I'm so grateful for all of that. Yeah. But one of the things that I'm not only just grateful for, but what I've learned for real is that we have been a part of entertaining other people through a pandemic. And I didn't actually, it's kind of like the whole time, it's always been about the listeners. It's always about giving them back, whether it's finding a really cool guest, getting a really good story, teaching something to our listeners. And so the gratitude, the fact that we're in each other's lives, but all of these random people that we don't know actually listen to us talk crap.
Yep. And they've been mostly enjoying it, we think.
Yeah. And we want to be able to teach them more, and to be able to see a different perspective. There's been some incredible guests that have taught us things that we didn't even know. When we had someone from that organization, HALT, and we learned all about tradespeople and how much they suffer from depression. And then when we learned about hepatitis, I didn't even know how bad hepatitis was around young people, and just little things like that. If we've just stopped one person from, going out to a party and getting a tattoo, and then giving somebody else the same needle and giving them the tattoo, we've done a year. If we've stopped one person from getting something like that, or one tradie reaching out and doing something, or or one person to actually see, I'm stuck in my own crap, so I'm going to go out and do something kind for somebody else. If one person has changed that, then we have had an awesome year.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Cue the music.
Yeah.
Totally agree. And you know what? That is the end of our show, you guys. Thank you so much for being with us, DJ Big Brooklyn. We love you.
Love you.
My pleasure.
All the very best, and thank you for bringing your talent to our little show here in Australia. And thank you, Ralph.
You coming back next year?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Don't leave us.
Ralph is awesome, by the way. What's up, Ralph?
Yeah.
So Ralph from Making Media, who is our boss and puts it all together, and he trusted us. Why would you do that? But he did, and he and he's an absolute legend. We love you, and thank you to all of our beautiful guests who've been on the show this year. And we will be back.
And to our audience, thank you to our audience.
2021.
Yes.
All stay tuned after this for the Ursula Carlson 1 hour special. Can you believe? See, this is what we're talking about. These incredible guests that said yes to us. Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Stay happy. And we will see you in 2021. Sonya and Sasha for Real show out for 2020.
Mic drop.
Peace.
Sonya and Sasha, for for real.